Hi, I'm Romisha Tucker. I am the Stability Services Program Manager at Housing Forward. The name of our project is Aging in Place, and we sought to highlight the lack of housing options available for aging adults, specifically in the Oak Park and River Forest area. We are going to begin our project with not us screaming from the mountaintop that this is an issue that needs to be addressed and that needs to be spoken to, but we did a kind of a taking it to the streets segment where we went out and we talked to the people that this issue most addresses. We asked all the participants, are you concerned about your ability to stay in Oak Park and River Forest as you age? And this is what they had to say.
Are you concerned about your ability to stay in Oak Park as you age?
Definitely. While I'm currently blessed to be in a good rental situation, I'm well aware that when buildings are sold, the new owners force people out by the extreme rental increases they impose.
And that concerns you?
Absolutely.
Delighted to be a member of Oak Park, and I do hope that I can continue to remain here. We do have some facilities that are available that are very ideal for what some of my needs are, and I think that the village is considerate of other individuals who are coming along with additional needs.
Concerned about aging in this community?
No, I'm not.
I am concerned about other seniors who might not have the income as they age. And I would really like to see something done where they can maintain their houses, their home.
No, I'm not concerned at all. We plan to leave here horizontally.
Situation, the real estate tax situation, I'm buying my house every 4 years all over again.
Yes, I am very concerned.
And why is that?
Well, I'm getting older and everything seems to be progressing so, and leaving the older people out, I think. That seems that way, but I don't know.
My husband Al and I are concerned that we're able to maintain ourselves in the home of our choice in Oak Park or River Forest or Forest Park. The taxes are a huge issue as they keep going up. We have no.
And I've also gotten involved with a group called Arbor West Neighbors. I'm specifically on their affordable housing committee, so we're trying to come up with creative ways for older adults to stay here. So for example, if they're living in their house and it's getting, and they want to stay in their house but they can't afford to make ends meet, it would be nice if they could have somebody come in to live with them to maybe help with chores and help pay a little rent. So we need to come up with more creative ideas because what we're seeing is more and more expensive housing going up, and we need to, really fight to keep Oak Park the way I wanted it to be when I moved here, and I was excited.
Hi, I'm Jean Schultz Angel. I'm the executive director here at the 19th Century, and that's why they're concerned. But why you should be concerned is because the value of older adults in any community should not be underestimated. They are your voters, your volunteers, your caregivers, your donors, and they serve as our collective memory. And I can attest to this firsthand. Most of the members of the 19th Century, a fabulous organization of which the building you are enjoying right now, they are above 50 years old, and they are engaged, they are talented, and this organization would not be the same without them.
Hi, I'm Russ Vasquez. I'm a River Forest board trustee. So what is the risk if we lose our older adults and leaving our community? First, we will lose some great volunteers and donors of our nonprofits. They tend to be quite active in the nonprofits. We also will lose people who have made the community of what it is. They have a wealth of historical knowledge that we can all learn from. We also will lose a great wealth of their experiences, their talents, and their diversity. And as more households with children requiring educational needs for increases, this will increase the pressure to raise taxes and then cause our older adults to leave the community. So we started to explore other options to avoid this.
Hello, my name is Michelle Rodriguez Taylor, and I'm the Interim Executive Director at the Oak Park Regional Housing Center. So as you heard, we went out and collected stories. We collected qualitative data, but if there's one thing we learned in this Year in Leadership Lab is the importance of quantitative data. So these next two slides are for you, John. Oh, yep. So let's look at things from a national perspective. America needs a plan. By 2035, 1 out of 3 U.S. households will be headed by someone over 65. 85% of baby boomers do not plan to sell their home. Income challenges will impact an increasing number of seniors, and Americans 65 and older spend more than they make, and the largest expense is housing. So now let's look at this from a local perspective. So looking at Oak Park River Forest, 16% of residents age 62 and older are in Oak Park, 19% in River Forest. 14% increase has been due to the aging baby boomers population, outpacing other age groups in Oak Park and River Forest. And looking at it in an even more at a household perspective, we have over 20% of OPRF households include a senior, and almost half of those households, a senior is living alone. This issue is not going away, and we need to do something about it.
So there are real challenges for aging in place for this silver tsunami that's going to be happening in the next many years. A rise in household debt and a decline in pension plans makes our fixed income people very nervous. Seniors have limited or fixed incomes with a longer life expectancy. There's expected shortfalls in Medicare and Social Security, making healthcare costs go up. We have limited quantities of housing vouchers and senior housing. And of course, housing prices and taxes are increasing at a rapid rate, as we all know.
Throughout the course of this project, we talked to not only those affected, as you saw in the video earlier, but we had meetings and conversations with other stakeholders in the community, as you can see presented up above.
And what we found is that everyone has their favorite remedy in addressing the housing situation. There are options to rent, there are options to continue remaining in the home if it's possible for them to do so. They can move to a condo, move to a co-op, move to assisted living residences, and or participate in co-housing, co-sharing if they're able to do that. Plus, as you can see, there's a list of other options that are up there. Overall, as you can see, this is quite an overwhelming situation. So, as a public official and with all of the possible solutions to consider, what do I and other community leaders do to know and need in order to make some actions and decisions that will help resolve the situation? This led us to this project.
My name is Valerie Lester. I'm a community volunteer. And our project is to try to help you, Rez, and the other policy leaders by creating a survey to understand the housing needs of residents as we age. The survey has two objectives. First is to understand what % of residents don't think they can stay in Oak Park or River Forest as they age, and why. The survey will be statistically robust enough to read key demographics by community so we can understand who we're leaving out. The second objective is a trade-off analysis of features and benefits versus price. So a survey taker will see a series of two images, two options with a price, maybe a condo with these features and benefits at this price versus assisted living. And as they make their choices, it'll enable us to understand their priorities, and as we compile them, we'll be able to understand the priorities of different groups within the community.
So what do we think we're going to gain from the survey? Well, the survey will clear up confusion and provide evidence-driven support to inform policymakers so that they will focus development and TIF dollars on projects that will help residents remain. And for those of you unfamiliar with TIF dollars, TIF stands for Tax Increments Financing. It's a public financing method that's used as a subsidy for infrastructure and community redevelopment projects. We also want to inform policymakers on what makes homes aging friendly. We intend to propose zoning changes that will allow more affordable housing options and feature trade-offs of aging adults, as well as understand the market potential of non-traditional housing options to be piloted, and to incorporate the aging needs into the community's comprehensive plan going forward.
So given the importance of this issue, we approached Arbor West Neighbors to help us move this forward. And we want to thank Arbor West Neighbors. So our next steps as a team with Arbor West Neighbors is to scope the survey and cost it with potential partners. We want to explore options to bring the cost down and then obtain grant funding. And then we can draft, program, and field the survey in order to analyze the results, and Arbor West will use this as part of their advocacy mission.
So with the results of this survey, I, as well as other community leaders, will be able to make educated policy decisions that will provide various housing options for our older adults to remain in the Oak Park River Forest community. So I want to thank you.